So, in the midst of sort of general concerns that the Trump team is completely unprepared to be taking control of the United States, listen to the list of problems that we now know the Trump transition team is having. Number one, it is total and utter chaos within the Trump transition team after the removal of Chris Christie and the replacement of Chris Christie with Mike Pence to actually run the transition team itself. And you might hope, well, that decision was probably made for some reason that would make the transition team run more effectively. But lo and behold, no. The Obama administration notified the press that they had not yet received a memo from Mike Pence, which allows the Obama administration and the incoming President-elect Trump administrations to start formally discussing how to hand off the government. That's sort of a big deal. You sort of need to figure that out and have limited time to do it. This signed paper did eventually show up hours late. And the weird thing is, it was the same document that Chris Christie had previously signed when he was heading up the transition team. So it raises the question of, if the document wasn't changed, why couldn't the Trump team just get Mike Pence to sign this piece of paper and get it over to the Obama administration? Trump transition team officials just didn't show up at the Pentagon for discussions about that transition. Trump officials just didn't show up at the Department of Energy, which, by the way, is responsible for keeping those nuclear codes that we are all really, really scared about Trump having anything to do with, and no business having anything to do with those. Trump's team officials just didn't show up when the Department of Energy was expecting them on Monday. No one at the Justice Department has heard from the Trump team. And the question is, what is causing all of this? Lack of organization is part of it, but another element of the root cause is that the Trump transition team, and this is insane, who wouldn't want to be a part of a presidential administration? The Trump team is having a difficult time finding able-minded Republicans that are even willing to work with them. And Red Alert, a Democratic source who, like others, would only discuss what's going on the condition of anonymity, said that transition officials have been informally asking Obama appointees to recommend Republicans to take over their jobs. This is so pathetic, guys. They no call, no show, and then they don't know who to hire. Hey, Obama administration, could you recommend some Republicans to us so that we can maybe get this thing moving?
Well, it's pretty funny how Chris Christie was in charge of the transition team when the prospect of a Donald Trump presidency was just wishful thinking.
Yeah.
And now that it's become a reality, Mike Pence is in charge.
And Rachel, I mean, when we think about this, you've got all of these Republicans everywhere who seem desperate to have positions of power. All of a sudden now, none of them are jumping at the opportunity to work in the Trump administration.
But I also feel like because Trump doesn't have a lot of experience, he doesn't have this long list of officials from the Bush era to tap from. So where is he looking to?
Yeah, well, he was going to put the best people around him. And apparently he can't even put people around him who can then find people to put around him. I mean, we're getting several levels removed here from Trump being the really great manager that he says he's going to be. And very telling is that Elliot Cohen, who was a longtime neoconservative voice, he tweeted about the total chaos and disorder that's going on within the Trump transition team. We're going to put that tweet up for you, saying, after exchange with Trump transition team, changed my recommendation. Stay away. They're angry, arrogant, screaming, you lost, will be ugly. And then in the midst of this, you have Reince Priebus, according to sources, who is going to be the White House chief of staff, leaving his role as RNC chair. He is now very concerned about the possibility of Corey Lewandowski, former Trump campaign manager and CNN contributor. Corey Lewandowski may be named RNC chair, and Reince Priebus is very concerned about that. The Republicans are scared of what the Republicans under Trump are going to do.
I understand that, but kind of going back to the unraveling, I'm wondering if the catalyst for this was giving so much power to Jared Kushner and saying, oh, he can make decisions kind of based on emotions, and saying, I'm going to dismiss Rogers because when Chris Christie was a federal prosecutor, he put my father in jail, or saying that Rogers agreed with Obama and saying that he didn't mislead the public in terms of Benghazi, and that's starkly contrasts with Trump's narrative about Benghazi. So let's just dismiss him.
Yeah, well, Jared Kushner, of course, Trump's son-in-law, who, by all indications, has a has very significant influence, Pat, over Donald Trump, and it's unclear exactly what his role is going to be in the administration. We haven't really heard much about it. I warned you, Trump is not qualified to run the country. We've been saying it for a while. He likes the hunt of it. He likes the competition. He wants the power he sees associated with it. But now that he's won, it's abundantly clear he's not interested in governing.
And we really don't know which sectors of the Republican Party is going to be in charge, because there's the alt-right group like Stephen Bannon, and then there's the more establishment types like Reince Priebus. We don't know who's going to take over.
And we're hearing about Giuliani and Newt Gingrich and so many others.
Well, yeah, but Giuliani says it's all fine because this happened with Reagan and Clinton. So this is normal. Yeah,
I trust Rudy Giuliani inherently, especially after he told us the FBI was leaking him information, or at least implied it.